today's stream. My name is Darlington Gospel, and as usual, let's get into the video of this day. Please, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, this is Dapp Mentors, where we transition Web2 developers into Web3 developers. So just expect a lot from this channel. Today, I want to teach you people about setting up your Web3 development kit. It's quite important. I've had some people share with me their request for a video on packaging your starter kit so that you won't have to go through hassles when you are trying to get production, development, and all of that going. So in this video today, that is what we want to do. All right, so if you're new to this channel, you're welcome. So without further ado, let's jump in and let's start seeing the items that are needed to set up your Web3 starter kit so that you won't have to struggle through development. A brief announcement before you go: we will be publishing a series of videos here on a special training on the SIA network. I'm sure you're seeing a portrait behind me. I actually designed it myself. Okay, so of SIA, a decentralized storage blockchain. So we're going to be learning how to build dApps that utilizes decentralized storage, which is coming on in this channel. We're actively working on it, and it's going to be one of the best or phenomenal tutorial series that you're going to be learning. So get ready for that. That is coming on the channel. Okay, so each one of you, just get ready, because this is going to be hot and clean, okay, with best techs right there. So if you learn how to do this, then you've conquered one of the blockchain hemisphere, which is decentralized storage. All right, so let's jump into the tutorial for this day. So the first thing we need here is Next.js. Okay, Next.js is pretty important. So and with Next.js, you also need, we don't only need Next.js, we're going to need TypeScript, Tailwind, CSS, and all of that. But these items that come with Tailwind. So when we get Tailwind, when we get Next.js, we get all these items. So let's get this thing installed. One of the things that I've done is to install this thing using Git Repo. Okay, so I'm going to open that workspace so that we can get started. So I don't want to do all these things on my computer, and I think it's a lot faster doing it online here. So I'm going to open it on my browser. So when you see this is just an empty folder, all right, that I just called empty. Okay, so and this is specifically for this particular tutorial. You can do this on your computer so long as you have Node.js installed and all that in your computer. That is great. So I'm just going to follow here. You can see I have nothing here. Okay, so the first thing you want to do to have Next.js installed is to run this piece of code. So we're going to run npx create -next -app. All right, so what this need after you write that line of command is to specify the name of the app. Let's say my app. This is what you should do in your machine, you understand? But because I want to install it in this particular folder, I can just specify this current directory by using this dot. So I execute that. So it's going to ask me, this is going to, I'll just say yes with a Y. I need to go through the process of, a command procedure to help me install some various items, such as I mentioned earlier, which is TypeScript. I just have to say yes. I also need ESLint, which is cool. I need Tailwind CSS. I don't want to use the src directory structure. I just want to use the app structure. And yes, we're using app router. Please, I want to give you understanding here. There's a difference between app router and page router, okay, which is two different routing, methods that Next.js does, provide. One of the, downside of Next.js 14 is that in this app router, it doesn't give you this get server side props, which is a mechanism we often use to retrieve something behind, from the server side before we even render the page. It doesn't work like that anymore in Next 14. You have to use front end interaction now, which is not very cool in some certain things, for some reason, like if you want to pull something from behind. So that get server side props is not working. Okay, I tested it out. All right, so you should bear that in mind. Now, I'm going to say app router. We've always been using page router in our recent or subsequent, in our previous, starter kit. It has always been page router, but now we're using app router. That's why I'm saying yes. Okay, so would you like to customize the default import alias? You want to say no, you don't want that. So these are the items it's going to install for you, all right, and have all those information ready. So you can see that this has been created and more data are being pulled, which is cool. So we're just going to wait for it to complete. And now we have all these things, installed. Absolutely great. If you run yarn dev, this should be up and running. If I open it on another tab, okay, our app is up and running, and that is great. So I'm going to come back here. We're not done. There are some things that we still need to have installed in this particular tutorial. So let's get into them. There are quite a lot. So the first one is I want to install Hardhat. Hardhat, depending on the kind of blockchain that you're working on, you want to work on. So for example, if you're working on the Ethereum space, then you need to have Hardhat or Truffle installed. Lately, Hardhat had won the heart of the populace. So the dev community, by default, we go for Hardhat. So it's more popular. So let's get to Hardhat. And how we get Hardhat is by just searching for Hardhat, installation. Okay, so get started with Hardhat for Ethereum. So while you're here, you just need to do this. To install Hardhat, you can copy this line of code, save it for development. So let's run that. So I'm going to come here, open a new terminal. I can split this terminal and just paste this code here. Yes, forever, allow. Okay, so, and then you execute that installation script. So this will grab you Hardhat and have it all installed, on your machine. So this has been installed and Hardhat is already here. So when we look at this dev dependency, you see Hardhat, where are you, as part of it. So now you want to run npx Hardhat init. Okay, so this will help you initialize Hardhat. So we want to select, so I'm going to say JavaScript project, this, yeah, nope, and say, do you want to install this sample project dependency with Nomic Foundation Hardhat toolbox? Yes, you totally want to do that. So it's going to install this. This set of tools are very important for you to effectively, write your code and perform your development procedures with Hardhat. Okay, so that's why this installation is very important. So we're going to wait for that installation to be completed, and once it is completed, we'll go into the next set of things. So it is completed. You can see that Nomic Foundation Hardhat toolbox is there, and you can see this Hardhat config script. All of those things are available to us now. So for this module export, there are some certain piece of information that we just need to specify. So for example, I want to specify these information for local network. Okay, localhost, this is what localhost, default network is localhost, and the networks we have currently, we only have one, so which is this localhost, and we can specify the URL, location of it. And I think if we run npx Hardhat node. This should spin up, the account, and you can see that all of that is working. Our local blockchain is up and running. You can see the URL the service endpoint where you can have access to all its resources is there. So that's cool. Let's run this contract compile as well. There's this Solidity code that comes default here. So let's run npx Hardhat compile. Okay, you can see that worked, and we don't need any other proof there. Our Hardhat is up and running. So the next thing you want to install is Ethers.js. Okay, so let's get to Ethers.js. So Ethers.js helps you to communicate, with this blockchain. Without Ethers.js, you cannot interact with your front-end application. So you need it installed there. These people, the very first thing was supposed to be, okay, we have that. I would have said that, or you don't have it installed here, the instruction here. So just know that there are some minor differences between these Ethers.js versions. So as the version keep increasing, you should always consult the documentation here, so that you will know how to interact with it. Because right now they have version 6.13.1, and there may be some minor differences. Like when I used to work with version 4, it had a different way of deploying new smart contracts, but these versions of 6 has a different way of deploying smart contract. If you're watching my video, you see how that goes. So I'm going to install this into the application. So I'm going to say, just run this piece of code, and it's going to have this installed for us. So we have Ethers.js now, which is pretty cool. The next thing we need is you need Redux toolkit. So to get started with Redux toolkit, you will need to install these two packages. You need to install Redux toolkit, Redux.js/toolkit, and also React Redux. These two libraries will help you to communicate with it. So I'm just going to copy this line of code, come here and paste, and also do this as well. I want to install the both of them at once, so I'm going to copy this as well and paste here and run that, so that when it comes to state management, I will have all those Redux toolkit available for me to perform my state management activities. And you see that a lot as we in our tutorials where we use Redux toolkits to make things really fantastic. That's great. So the next thing you want is you want React Toastify. Okay, so you need a notification library for your application generally, and you know that blockchain is quite slow sometimes, so especially with Ethereum. All right, so you need to improve the user experience of your application users, okay, so that they can know that there is a process happening. So that's why you see in my tutorials a lot, I have this Toastify library that I use. So let's go to React Toastify. So search for that. This is it. It's recently updated. That's one thing you must always pay attention. Pay attention to libraries that are frequently updated, which means that you are in safe ground. Okay, some libraries are very quite old, why some just works regardless, but you may need to add some extra features. Okay, so you want to install it using this command, or just use this command here. Okay, yeah, so with that you copy that, you come here, you paste, and it gets installed. While it is installing, you can see that these are all the various notification toast stuff that you can actually use. It makes your application development really friendly. All right, so I have React Toastify installed. I also need React icons, okay? React icons are very important. When you're developing the UI, the UI have a lot of it has a lot of things. You just want a Web3 app must be beautiful. You understand? In my opinion, all right. So you need to make sure that it has good icons, and React icons basically bundles all the various icons, material designs, font awesomes, and all of that. It makes the icon ecosystem, just available to you in one plate. Okay, so you want to install it simply by running this line of code here. So I'm going to come here, and run the installation here. So you need that one as well to be installed. So we have React icons. The next thing you also want React Identicons. I'm going to explain to you. Let's search for it. This particular Identicon is quite old. Okay, it's last updated 3 years ago, but it's been working just phenomenal, like fantastic. I've never had any issues with React Identicons, in all the development processes that I've been doing, which is cool. And we just simply need to install it, and it will be helpful. What happened is that you just pass a random string inside that component, and it generates an avatar based on the string. So this will be very useful for wallet connection, different wallet ID. You can use that to represent them, properly as well. Any string at all, which is really cool. So it's something that you need for your Web3, starter kit. So I'm going to install that here. Run that, install it. Oops. So it's saying that unable to resolve dependency tree. Was it successful? No, it wasn't. So I'm going to apply this force statement. So I'm going to say -- force to force it to install that particular library. But if you do find a different library that is more newer and actually functions like this one, then you can use it. There's also something you need to know about React Identicons. You need to specify, you need to declare, because TypeScript, when you're working with just, let's say, JavaScript, it doesn't have any issue. But when you have TypeScript, there is a need for you to declare that particular module to be available. Otherwise, TypeScript will start complaining. So I normally have this file called types.dt.ts. So it's basically a TypeScript file that we notify every component here that we have a module named React Identicons. Okay, so that is all you need to do about React Identicons. So afterward, you will also need .env. Okay, .env will help you to have all those have privacy to interact or work with a .env file. So I think Next.js does have a .env process by default. But if you're working with other JavaScript stuff, for example, if I want to bring in like adding a .env file here so that I can create a custom network, let's say a network that is going to a specific place, or that will require my private keys and all that, then I'm going to need a unique I'm going to have to add my private key, and I'm also going to add that specific URL or endpoint where I want to deploy this, or this network is pointing to. So I can't make that public. So that's why we need .env. So .env is very easy. So all you need to do is run npm install .env. Okay, and I think it's done in, you say save.dev. save dev dependency. So am I doing that correctly? So I may be doing that wrongly. So let's check it out online. So say .env. So which helps you to load this, and you can copy and paste it. So this is the recommended approach. So I'm going to copy this line of code, come to this place, paste it here, and install. So I'm not having some issues, especially as regards to this React Identicons. Okay, it's having some issues with React Identicons. So I don't know if I should, just comment it out momentarily. No, that doesn't work. What if I remove it totally and run that line again? Okay, and it's installed. It's having issues, with React Identicons. It's not just fitting because of the various React version differences. So regardless, let me do this. .env is still brought in here. It's supposed to be in the dev dependency. Okay, so that is where it's supposed to be. So I'm going to run that other React Identicon again to have it installed. Okay, so that's specific. Okay, I need to close this first. Don't save. I'll come to package.json. All right, so all of them are here. I didn't know that I haven't saved it yet. So that is for React Identicons, and .env. The next thing you want is this WAGMI. Okay, WAGMI will provide you with the wallet connection ability. Let's look for wallet connect. Okay, so we want to look for the wallet connect one. Let's close that, come back here. We're looking for wallet connect. This will be the connection package that you're going to be needing. Okay, so it has Next.js installed by default. So if you come here, it gives you access to different kits. So let's say I want to install the app kit for Next.js, and let's say I'm using npm. You're going to have to install this whole thing, which will give you that access to that wallet connection provision. Okay, so I don't want to currently open up a project I'm working on because I have to reveal it to you, but you understand that ability, that connect wallet button, it will be very much done for you using this. I think they should have like some examples. So let's look at this example onboarding. So look at this example where you connect this wallet, you can collect with Trust Wallet and all of that. So these are the example of what I'm talking about. So I'm going to come back here. So let's install this, copy this line of code, Web3 modal, that's what we're talking about here. You come here, you run this piece of code here to install it. It's going to install about 3 or 4 packages for you, 4 packages. Okay, so once it is installed, we'll go to the next thing. So it's failing. I need to use this first, and why it's failing is because of this React Identicon. So what I can do is I can cut it out momentarily. Okay, I'll cut it out momentarily, and I can come back to this when I'm done. That will be like the last thing I'm going to install, so that it will not be disturbing our installation process. So I'm going to install this back again. So it has added the package that we're looking for, which is great. So we can jump into the next one. We need Faker.js. Okay, that Faker.js. I'm going to show you that Faker is a little bit different from the one that was pulled out. I don't know if you people read that news that was like a popular library until it got pulled down. I'm talking about a specific faker, that this one called faker, dash js/faker. This is the one, and you can see that it's been often updated, so which is cool. All right, so you want to install this for development purposes as well. So you come here and paste that. So this will help you to generate some random stuff, or avatar name, even Ethereum addresses, any random stuff, you can generate that. And this is really good when we're seeding our smart contract with some dummy data. Okay, this comes in. So when you're doing heavy testing with your Ethereum and all of that, which you should do, because Ethereum process, involves a lot of, you can make a mistake. So you have to test your smart contract properly. So this gives you that, that provision to do that effectively. All right. So let's jump back and see what is going on here. So it's been installed. You can see Faker here now. Absolutely good. So lastly, but not the least, you need to install a test framework called Chai. Okay, Chai is really good for testing your smart contract. So I'm going to say Chai. Okay, so it's good for behavioral testing, test driven, all that. Okay, so you need that. So I'm going to install this Chai here. So say, on dev mode. So I'll come here and paste this. So that we solidify the entire kit that we need to build, dApps on the Ethereum space. Okay, we almost forgot our React Identicon. Yeah, I have to get that part all together, and I have noticed that I've made mistakes in my code, but I kind of haven't keeping my face, by this side of the view, and I can't really do much to help that. But what I can do is to swap this, and so that the running instance of this React Next.js app will just be here, and because we don't really need much about it. Or what I can also do is I can just open this in another instance. So I'm going to open this in another instance altogether, so that I can have enough space there, and I can navigate between them. And I can also do more by making sure this is a lot more. So those are some things I can put up to make this a lot more visual for us all. So at this point, what I want to do is let's run let's have that React Identicon installed. So say npm I react -identicons, and then you want to say force, because you need that to have it installed, otherwise it kind of fails. Okay, so I have that installed. You can see React Identicons here. Great. So one more thing I want to have you guys do, because it's quite important, is to set up your page folder. Okay, and you need to configure it in such a way that it will not be an issue, to your application. You see, one thing about the drawbacks about this app routing format is that every page you have to put it in here. Otherwise, if you put another folder, you have to reference it by that folder and going in deep. And you can really, I don't want to have I can create a page right now. I want to say pages. So, but anything I put here has to be, /pages and so let me demonstrate that to you and show that you see what I'm talking about. So I'll say, we have something like about page, let's create a file, say about, this is a folder, and inside this folder I'm going to create another file, call it page.tsx. and I could just populate this. Okay, and I will call this should be page tbp, say about page. So save that, and let me open this in this terminal. So I'm going to open this using this link. So I'll come here. So this is the application. I want to go to this link called /about. If I click this, I can't find any page. You understand what I'm saying? This is because I have to specify this whole routing format called pages, /about before you find this page. This is not what we're looking for. We want to customize this in such a way that you just say /pages, /about, and it just works for you. Okay, instead of showing you this not found page. So how you do that? You need to reconfigure this next.config.mjs. okay, so what you need to do there is we need to rewrite. Want to paste in this. I'm going to paste this and explain. So I'm going to paste this here. Let me talk about this one first. What we're doing is we're rewriting part. We're instructing Next.js on how it should handle incoming requests for pages, and then route it to the right necessary folder that we want. So what we're saying that for any request that is coming from any part, you check that request for any part, and instead of going to, it should then point it to that pages / that specific page that we're looking for. So instead of just, if we do this, then it will work. This here, we're also doing this. This is similar, but this is for API. You know that you do know that Next.js does have this API-based stuff, and I probably may just have to do one simple API for you. For now, let me create a new API, call it folder, say hello, and then say route.tsx. So inside this folder, I'm going to paste something simple. I just want to display very simple message, nothing more, no much hassle here, just a simple message that I want to display, and I'm going to do that here. Okay, so the body of this, I'm going to call this we don't need this status thing. Let's just say this body's message, call it hello world, and then the status is 200. Say status is 200, meaning okay, and I don't need all this other information. I don't need them all. Okay, so this is just a simple get request. Okay, so while this is still behaving like this, even though I try to I want to go to this hello API. So if I refer to API/hello, okay, we get something really cool, which is okay, so we get something really cool. I don't know, let me comment out this, making sure that I'm not making any mistake here. So I'm going to comment out this for now. Okay, so if I comment that out, refresh this page, I need to reboot this entire thing. So when I refresh this page, so the hello world actually gives me exactly what I want, But now if I do come here and release this, because what I'm trying to target is whenever I say about, it should take me to that about page, and currently can't find that page. So I want to modify that behavior here. So if I modify that behavior by saying that for every time that you're calling the about part, it should go and fetch it from the pages folder instead of just on the the main app folder, then I have to also modify. This is going to work now. Okay, you can see that it's taking me to the about page now, which is cool. But if I try to go for this API stuff again, API/hello, it still works though, but an additional precaution that you want to make is to add this. I added this. I found out that it was a little bit problematic, for me. So I added that so that, it will always point to the right destination. So this helped me to point to the right destination. It doesn't make any difference now, but this is it, and this is how you package that together. So those two are necessary. One more thing that you need, to configure here is the image source, because if you don't configure this image source, if you're trying to read image from another URL that is different from this your Next.js application, it's not going to help you. So you need to add some remote image instruction, which is where this one comes in. Okay, so this, you're saying every image, you're saying that you should grab it from the remote URL, and then you can supply the HTTPS protocol, and the host name can be any host at all in the world. So you need to add that so that it will not give you some problems when you try to access. So for example, why don't we just do it here? Let's come to that pages, and we say h4 about, and then we also want to get this image component from Next.js. Okay, so put width, say 100, height is 100, and let's grab an image online. So I'm going to grab an image here. I think I have an image here, so I'm going to copy this image address. I can close this one, and I will say the source, and put this as the source of the image. So what am I still missing? So you need to put this alt key, say about. So let's save that, and let's save that. Now let's try to go back to that about page. So it's failing, it's saying something, it's complaining about this particular image, as you can see here. So this image is having an issue. Okay, and you can see that error is saying that, the source prop, Next.js is talking about is not configured on that image, host name. This particular host that you're trying to grab this image from is not configured. I know why I'm saying this, because you're going to bump into this sort of errors, and if you don't know how to straighten it, then you have this sort of issue. What you need to do is to come to this Next.js configuration and make this remote access to images to be universal. So by putting this, this line of code here, you're going to resolve that error. And when you refresh this page now, the image should be loading just fine. So all right, so waiting, you can see that image right there. So those tiny information are very important for this particular for you to operate your Dapp properly. So with that said, I'm just going to commit this project online so that you can have access to it. Okay, I think I've already pushed a repository of it, so I'm going to say I'm going to come back here and just say git add everything, and just say added Identicon, and Next.js configs. All right, so I'm going to save that, synchronize that, so that you can have access to it online. And I don't know, but there seems to be a very simple way to check out the origin. Like if I come to my Git repository now, I think we should be there. So when you come here, you should find our Web3 starter kit, which is a starter kit I just created. So everything is here. You can have access to it, and you can start playing with it and using it for your own development. This is just an example, but you can use what I've just shared with you to do to customize your own to your very own taste. So with that said, that is it. Please don't forget to like and subscribe the video. Subscribe with us. Okay, we really need that. All right, if you've not done so, please hit that like and subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and don't forget our SIA, training course that is coming on this channel. So be ready, SIA. I think I mispronounced it the first time. It's actually called SIA, not SIA. Okay, so be ready for it. It's coming on the channel. We're actively working on it. And with that said, my name is Darlington Gospel. Stay blessed and stay cooking. I'll see you in the next video.